Hello everybody, this is Ryan and I'm back for another video for AEP 858. This time we're going to talk about Module 11, which is your case study. So as you can see, I'm on the course website and I'm right down here on Module 11. This module is set up just a little bit different on the website. There are 3 documents that you need to take a look at to make sure you get your your case study done correctly. The first one is directions. Let's expand that. You're going to make a presentation over this case study, Everyday Counts. You're essentially going to make 1 slide per section, and I'll talk to you about the section in just a minute. If you need to add more slides, you can. I do ask, though, that you make sure to label your slides appropriately. Slide 1, title page. Slide 2, section 1. If you have more than one section 1 title and you have 2 slides, it's fine. Just put section 1 continued. You need to make sure that when addressing each section and end after each section should be included, a sentence should be included. You need to embed at least one colorful graphic on each of your slides. You embed the highlighted words from the standard for the case study throughout your presentation. That is a part that is missed a lot in this, is that you'll see it in a little bit in the rubric, but we need to make sure that when portions of the standard come up, that you're highlighting those keywords. I prefer just a yellow highlighting. That'd be great. That's easy to see, easy to follow. Kind of goes down through this. You can read the rest of this, but essentially you're going to make a presentation, and I recommend just using Google Slides, and then use Screencast-O-Matic or ScreenPal to make your narrative video like you have done in the other sections. And then in your text box, you will describe these sections of correlation, the relevancy, and the reflection parts. So those are the directions. The big thing there is your slides, and make sure you're labeled. And again, I'd read through this and make sure that you're following the directions. The next portion is a case study. The case study is Everyday Counts. So read through this, gives you a bit of background, and it talks about school leaders. Remember, school leaders can be lots of different things. So kind of read through this, and again, you can print this out. Here's the case. I go through this. Here's some questions to consider. Here's your standard. Here's the reference. Again, just need to print this off and read it, go through it. And remember, this isn't necessarily any certain role. It's just a building leadership role. You're going to assume that you're a school leader at Golden Oaks High School. A school leader could be any role you see yourself in the future. Examples might include a counselor, principal, instructional strategist, etc. It might be a reading specialist. It might be a library media specialist. Just whatever role you feel like you're going to assume down the road, try to address this case study from that perspective. So that's a case. The last part is a rubric. Again, I would make sure you print off all 3 of these documents and go through them. And remember, a little bit ago I talked about the sections. So what I recommend you do is I recommend that you take this whole section and put that on the top of your slide. So here's section 1, here's section 2. Again, look at these rubrics so you kind of understand what the points are. Section 3. Remember, we talked about synthesizing in another module, so make sure you're doing that. Make sure you have your options. Again, I recommend doing at least 3 options, but you could do more. I would prefer you have at least 3. 4 or 5 is okay as well. Evaluating your options, nothing like a good pros and cons. Again, I would make sure that as you're talking about your pros and your cons and your options, that you consider multiple perspectives, not just your own, but how would other people feel about these options. So again, think about multiple perspectives. Develop your plan to implement. Here's section 10. This is your standard implementation. This is where you're going to highlight certain pieces of the standard as they show up. And again, I recommend using yellow highlight. Just as parts of the standard show up, highlight them in your presentation. Then module 11 would be your presentation organization. Did you follow directions, etc.? And down here, you need to get at least 284 out of 330. If you don't do that, I will ask you to redo it, or again, the feedback will be similar to what you've gotten throughout. If it's not quite right, I'll get back to you and get back with you, and we'll make the necessary changes. I hope you enjoy this case study. I hope you enjoy this perspective that it'll give you. So that's what I got. It's nice talking to you. If you need some help, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And talk to you later.